Hi guys, and welcome to another video where today we're going to be reacting to our predictions on what we thought the Premier League table would look like at the end of the 2017-2018 season. And this is how it's going to go down again, like we did with the predictions for the Championship video, link in the description so you can watch that one afterwards. We're going to give ourselves 5 points for a correct position prediction, 3 points where a team we predicted finished one position above or one position below, and 1 point if a team finished 2 positions above or 2 positions below where we predicted. So let's crack on with the reactions.
Okay, so first up we'll start with the bottom 3. Now they were West Brom, Stoke and Swansea. And first of all I'll start with my predictions like I did in the last video, and then you'll go on with yours and then we'll see how many points we've got. So I thought in 20th we're going to be Huddersfield. Now, the reason I picked this was because I didn't think they'd have a good enough squad for the Premier League. And boy, if they proved everyone wrong. They finally finished in 16th position, and they just had a great season all around, really.
Yeah, for a team that has come up and who haven't, I can't ever remember, well, what was it? I think it was 50 years since they had been in the top flight, something like that anyway. So
yeah. Then I predicted Brighton to finish 19th, mainly because I don't think their strike force would be good enough. But Glenn Murray, he was phenomenal this season. And then I predicted Swansea to finish in 18th, mainly because I knew they were going to have a poor start to the season because they always seem to. Whenever, like Paul Clement did it this year, Guidolin did it last year, but they have been struggling for the last 2 seasons, and I thought this was the year. Looking at their squad as well, that they were going to finally get relegated. So, no points for 20th and 19th, but as I predicted Swansea to correctly finish in 18th, I get 5 points.
Well done on that one, okay. So like you, I also predicted Huddersfield to finish in 20th position. Of course, they finished in 16th, so 0 points for me there. I predicted Stoke City to finish in 19th, and they did. I thought they didn't really spend money in the close season last year. Mark Hughes as well.
Sold loads of players as well.
Yeah, they got rid of... Nothing really happened for them. They struggled big time all season, and that proved to be correct in the end. So I get 5 points for that one, for correctly predicting Stoke to finish in 19th. And in 18th position, I went for Newcastle. I thought their recruitment over the season, well, over the close season, they didn't bring anybody in. Really, they didn't really have that many players with Premiership class, I thought. Okay, they had the likes of Voldemort in the middle, who was on the verge. I think he's in the backup sort of team as you were for the England World Cup squad. But apart from that, you know, they didn't have a lot going on. Mitrovic going out on loan to Fulham, of course. Gale did notch a few goals, and it was only really Perez at the end of the season that really gave them that big boost at the table, really, on this goal scoring front. However, yeah, Newcastle totally wrong on that one. They finished 8 places above in 10th position. So for those bottom 3 positions, I get 5 points. So at the moment, we're on 5 points each.
Okay, let's move on to the middle 10 between 17th and 7th position. So they were going up the table, of course. Southampton, Huddersfield, Brighton, Watford, West Ham, Bournemouth, Palace, Newcastle, Leicester and Everton. Now, I predicted Stoke to finish in 17th, mainly because I thought Mark Hughes was going to... Mainly because they did keep some of their essential squad members, such as Shaqiri, Joe Allen, Peter Crouch, even though those 3 are looking to leave now they've been relegated, but unfortunately they did get relegated as well. Mark Hughes just couldn't produce anything, then Paul Lambert.
Wow.
Yeah,
less said about that, I think.
Then, in 16th position, I predicted Burnley, mainly because I didn't think their squad was that good to finish higher in the table, but too strong to get relegated, really, especially with some of the sides that I thought were going to go down, like Huddersfield and Brighton, and Swansea, of course. But what a season Burnley has. Sean Dyche, absolute magician there. He's going to get a really good job in the future as well. Can do great things, and they're playing in Europe next season, which is really good for them. Then I predicted Watford to finish in 15th position, where they finished in 14th. I thought they were going to finish around that position, mainly because they always get rid of their manager every season. and it's like a revolving door down there. You never know who's in charge, and they can never seem consistent really with who their managers are and who they're playing. So I thought they were going to finish around mid-table. Didn't think they were going to get relegated, mainly because of some of the star players in their team. Then I predicted Newcastle to finish in 14th, but of course they had a great season. I thought their strong was way too strong to get relegated, unlike you, of course. But I knew they're going to have a good season, but I didn't expect them to finish in 10th, of course. Palace I predicted to finish in 13th. Thought they were going to have a strong season because of their new man Frank de Boer. Everyone was excited. 4 games, no goals, out the door. Hodgson in, really turned them around. I knew they were going to finish around the 13th to 11th mark. West Brom, thought they were going to finish 12th. What a disaster for them. Pulis couldn't get anything to work.
But he would be the type of manager, if you wanted to get out of trouble, he was the one to get them out of trouble, really. I know that Darren Moore did a very good job at the end of the season, but it was too little, too late.
Should have got rid of Pardew earlier, and that was a terrible sign-in from the West Brom board as well. An awful decision. For that, I think that deserves a relegation in itself, really. But then I predicted Leicester to finish in 11th. Thought it was going to be a strong season for them. Ended up finishing in 9th. Roughly a good season for Leicester.
I think it's good.
Craig Shakespeare had an iffy start to the season. Got rid of him. Brought in Clorpwell. Really good. Then I predicted Bournemouth to finish 10th. Thought it was going to be another strong season for Eddie Howe. Didn't think there'd be any third season syndrome for them. I can't remember how long I've been in the league, but anyway. Then I thought West Ham were going to finish 9th, mainly because the many signings that they brought in, such as Javier Hernandez and Joe Hart,
and Arnautovic,
of course, who has been a tank this season.
Rumour that he may go to Man United, but it's rumour mill season. I can see him actually at Man United. Very good player.
See that happening.
Why not?
I just can't.
Why?
I think he's going to stay at West Ham.
We'll see, but I think he's a good fit for Man United.
He's a good fit, but I can't see him. No, I can't see that happening, to be honest. But yeah, Bilic had a poor start to the season, sacked immediately. Moyes' bizarre appointment. Nobody thought he was going to do well, but he was able to keep them up, even though they had the problems with the board, and the board is really the main problem that they have at that club. Then I predicted Everton to finish in 8th. Loads of signings they had made. I didn't think they were going to go for Europa League qualification this year, mainly because there was too much pressure on the team and also the poor chemistry because of the amount of players that they had brought in. Of course, Ronald Koeman was thrown out the door and then replaced by Unsworth and then later Sam Allardyce. So, all in all, I get one perfect score, Everton, and then I get a 3-pointer for Watford finishing in 15th, and I get points for Bournemouth, Leicester, Palace and Stoke. So I get in total 12 points.
Okay, looking at my sort of middle 10 of the table, in 17th position I predicted Brighton. Brighton had a fairly decent season. I think the remit for them was for survival and they did it, so job done there for Chris Hughton. Next up I had Burnley finishing down in 16th position, which I think due to the previous season they struggled slightly, although this season they've been excellent, really hard to play against up at Turf Moor, brilliant season. Whether they can do that next season I don't know, because they are in the Europa League, so they're going to have to bring in, their recruitment process over this summer is key to how next season is going to be. Although the core of their team or squad is sound now, I would say, for the Premier League. Next I went for Swansea to finish in 15th. Fortunately Swansea got relegated as we saw, but down in the Championship next season I think they're going to struggle. I don't think they're going to bounce up straight away. It's going to take them a few years to even knock on the door of the Premier League again. Whether we'll see them again in the next 5 years I don't know.
I hope not.
Next up we got Watford. Yeah, they had a great start to the season, like so Richarlison started off like house on fire, but then sort of his form dipped and we didn't really hear of him then, into the latter end of the season. They got rid of Silva, of course, during the season. I know that Watford fans have been saying that they were glad to get rid of Silva in the end, even though he is highly rated, so what goes on there. I'm not too sure. I'm not a Watford fan, but got to take the Watford fans' word for it on that one. Next I went in 13th position was Bournemouth. Bournemouth, yeah, great steady season, did well. Eddie Howe got them into that almost mid-table position, in 12th position overall. Mm-hmm. Next up, in 12th position, I predicted Crystal Palace. Yeah, good season overall, once they got rid of De Boer, of course, and Roy Hodgson came in, steadied the ship, and then they just, you know, Zaha really was their key player there. Loftus-Cheek coming in from Chelsea, brilliant player. I know he got injured towards the end of the season, but he is in the England squad, and I think he's going to be a massive star for England and in the Premier League in the future. Looks a real good prospect. In 11th position, I predicted West Bromwich Albion, which going by previous seasons, you know, they get to that 40 point then struggle. However, this season they struggled all the way through until the dying embers of the season, where they put a good run together, but it was just too little, as we said, too late in the end. Leicester, I predicted to come in 10th position. Leicester winning the Premier League a few years ago, sort of just above mid-table now. Got the likes of, you know, their key players of Mahrez, Vardy. They got Okazaki, Albrighton, etc. You know, they got a decent team there. Whether they can keep hold of Mahrez this summer remains to be seen. We'll see what happens after the World Cup. In 9th position, I predicted Southampton. How wrong I could be there. Southampton struggled big time until Mark Hughes came in and kind of rescued them, which was weird, really, because Stoke City went down in the end. So there we have it with Southampton. Next up, I had West Ham finishing in 9th position. West Ham blew hot and cold. Some weeks they were good, some weeks they were absolutely dreadful. Massive shenanigans going on there at the London Stadium. You know, fans not happy with the board. They've been promised money for the 2018-19 season. We'll see. Will that come into fruition? I know that David Calder has actually been quoted to say that there will be money available. If there isn't, then watch out the board at West Ham. So looking at my points for that middle 10, I had 3 points for Leicester, as they finished 1 point above where I thought they would be. 3 points for Palace, they finished just below where I thought they'd be. 3 points for Bournemouth, they finished 1 point above where I thought they'd be. And 5 points for Watford. I totally predicted that one, so that was good there. So overall for those middle 10 positions, I had 15 points.
Okay, so we'll now move on to the Europa League positions. They were Burnley, Arsenal and Chelsea, who all qualified for the Europa League this season. In 7th position, bizarrely I picked Southampton, which was also my biggest mistake. Thought Pellegrino was a great appointment at the start of the season. Boy, was I wrong. Should have sacked him earlier if they wanted to get further up the table. I thought their squad was pretty strong as well, but I was completely wrong there. Next up, I predicted Arsenal to finish in 6th position. Completely 100% correct on that. Mainly because I just thought Arsene Wenger was out of steam and he just couldn't get Arsenal anywhere other than 6th, really. That's their prime position for them. Plus, they hadn't bought in too many names or spent relatively decent amount of money into mainly Alexis Sanchez, and Mesut Ozil didn't look like they wanted to.
Well, they bought in Aubameyang, a great signing, Aubameyang.
Great signing for Aubameyang, but just didn't work. And they don't play Lacazette either, which not a good decision by them. And then bizarrely, I predicted Liverpool to finish in 5th. Well, main reason for this was because I thought their defence and goalkeeping was not strong enough, and their midfield was a bit weak as well. That was eradicated when they signed Virgil van Dijk, of course, but your Lovrens and your Morenos, they really aren't the best. But of course, Robertson, phenomenal signing, only 10 million, well done. So overall, in the Europa League places, I get 8 points with one correct score being Arsenal.
Okay, so my Europa League predictions were, I had Everton in 7th position and they actually finished in 8th position, so I get the 3 points for that one. Liverpool, I predicted to finish in 6th, of course they finished in 4th. Yeah, great season for Liverpool, reaching the Champions League final and qualifying for Europe as well by finishing 4th.
Mo Salah, what a great signing.
Mo Salah, superb. Mane, Firmino, I thought was exceptional. Got rid of Coutinho, of course. Club coat. Bought in Virgil van Dijk, he sort of shored things up the back. I think they will need another central defender in the
especially
postseason.
definitely to replace Lovren. That's
Yeah,
what I can say.
and if they bring him in, and I know they brought in the 2 central midfielders, maybe if they can get cover for the wingers to give the likes of Mo Salah a rest and Mane, and possibly another striker, then they're going to be phenomenal next season.
Danny Ings is looking like he's on his way out of the club.
When he's on the bench, can't really get a game, but with their strike force at the moment, there's not many players who could get in that team anyway.
He's been linked everywhere. Danny Ings been linked with Fulham, us as well, Cardiff. Wouldn't want him really, maybe because of his high wage bill, but you never know. He'd be a great signing if we can get him.
We shall see anyway. So I had Liverpool there, and in 5th position I actually went for Spurs. Now Spurs finished 3rd, of course, so I thought there was going to be, they were going to drop off from the previous season, but they kept in there. I think they could have gone, they threw games away really throughout the season. They were at Wembley. They'll be back in their own stadium next season anyway. So
or their new stadium anyway.
In their new stadium, whatever it's going to be called. Do you know what it's going to be called? Probably New White Hart Lane or something. I don't know.
I've heard loads of rumours. New White Hart Lane is going to be either a corporate one, or I've also heard Northumberland Park for some reason.
So looking at my positions there, I had 3 points for Everton, 1 point for Liverpool, and 1 point for Spurs, giving me 5 points for the Europa League places.
Okay, so finally we'll move on to the Champions League qualifying spots, and of course the Premier League champions. They were 4th Liverpool, 3rd Tottenham, 2nd Man United, and 1st Manchester City with their 100-point season. Now, I predicted Chelsea to finish in 4th position. Whoever seems to win the Premier League nowadays just always can never build upon their season last year, and Chelsea were a prime example of that. Conte looks like he's going to go now after the season has ended.
He hasn't gone yet, so he's
hasn't
still
gone
there,
yet.
So.
Rumours have been going on all week saying that he's left and that he's definitely on his way out. I'm not sure, because you just can't tell what sources are reliable these days, but didn't think they're going to build on it. Some great signings such as Alvaro Morata and Olivier Giroud from Arsenal.
Although I thought Morata, on the whole, was a little bit of a letdown. He
wasn't
really score the goals that they needed. Started off quite well, and he did score some fantastic goals, but overall I'd say it's a bit of a failure.
It was a bit of a failure, but
we'll give him next season anyway. So
just to get used to the league really. Then I predicted Man United to finish 3rd, just because I couldn't see them compete for the title this year. It's going to be another couple of seasons, and definitely a tactics change if they want to.
If they want to keep the fans happy, then I'd say, because the fans aren't happy with the style of play. Some are, some aren't. I'd be very happy to finish 2nd in the league, but Man United, they want to be winning it every year, don't they? So. And with great football. So. Also, many fans are saying that they're not happy that Jose Mourinho is not playing any of the youth players as well, that Alex Ferguson did back in the day, and certain likes of Marcus Rashford, who should be a first-team regular, with his star quality, can only make the bench most weeks. So, but if you bought somebody in at 70 million, or however Lukaku, you're going to be playing that player. Yeah, but. They don't need them. Man United just spend their cash for absolutely no reason nowadays. Don't know where it's coming from, but they have no reason to be spending that much money on players that aren't even that good. What, Lukaku, you mean? Well, I'd say Lukaku was a bit of a letdown. Really? Like Morata. He didn't score as many goals as I would have thought he would have. This was because he was only able to get 16 goals throughout the entire season. In my opinion, that's a letdown, especially for... Yeah, Raheem Sterling for Man City actually got 18, so... And he's a winger as well, so... And even clubs lower down the table, such as Jamie Vardy of Leicester, he was able to get 20 goals this season, but... Yeah, so 3rd for Man United. Then I predicted Spurs to finish in 2nd, mainly because I thought they would build on from their great season last year, putting the pressure on a lot on Chelsea. I didn't think they were going to have Wembley syndrome, as many people said they were, but I was totally right with this one. They did get the many results at Wembley, had good away form at the same time. Really strong Tottenham team, maybe Premier League champions in a few years. Who knows? Maybe next year, possibly. Maybe they could do it in the first year of their new home. But
Then finally, I predicted Manchester City to finish in first position, mainly because of some of the great signings, and of course Pep pretty much putting an entirely new team out on the first day of the season than last year. All they really needed for them to win the league was a new goalkeeper, as Bravo wasn't the best. He was a bit of a Loris Karius goalkeeper, but last year, especially with that performance that he had against Cardiff, almost doing a Karius from a Junior Hoylett shot. Wish that would have gone in, but he was able to narrowly hold it out. But anyways, Manchester City phenomenal this year. Record 100 points, first ever team to do that. Best team the Premier League has ever had, including better than the Arsenal Invincibles, mainly because of them getting over 100 points. So, phenomenal season from Manchester City. Now for the top 4, I got a total of 14 points, one perfect prediction, which was Man City to finish first. Great decision by me. And then second to fourth, I got one position out. So for all them, I get 3 points.
Okay, looking at my top 4, I went for Arsenal to finish in 4th position. I thought in Arsenal Wenger's last season, he'd really push the boat out and get the Gunners firing, as it were. But of course, they finished in 6th position. Next up, I had Manchester City finishing 3rd, which is a big mistake. I know that their recruitment last year was phenomenal. Pep Guardiola in there again. I didn't think they'd do it, but they did, of course. In 2nd position, I went for Chelsea. I thought that they were champions the season before. Good manager there in Conte. However, they did finish in 5th position, outside those Champions League positions as well. And in 1st position, I thought Jose Mourinho, 2nd season at the helm, I thought they'd have brought Manchester United, the Red Devils, a title, but I was wrong on that one as well, as they finished runners-up. So overall, for that, I had 3 points for Manchester United, just 1 position out, and I had Manchester City and Arsenal with a 1 point, so I have 5 points for those final 4 positions. So looking at the overall scores now between us, Nathan, your total is 39 points and my total is 30 points, so congratulations, you win the Premier League predictions on the final table, as you did on the
Championship one as well.
As you did on the Championship one as well. So well done. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and a comment in the comment section, especially if you have any ideas on what you'd like to see over the summer before the Premier League season starts. What we are going to do though, of course, is our predictions for the World Cup, and I think we're going to do a video as well on the Golden Boot winner. If there's any other predictions for the World Cup you'd like to see, then just leave a comment and we'll see if we can oblige.
Also remember to subscribe to my channel, link in the description below. New uploads coming out in 2 weeks' time.
Fantastic. Once again guys, thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.